Ready? All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
Foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash.
All right, the brothers from the Trinidad camp. Brother Amawan, Brother Bara, the Brother Hawad, the Brother Kwam, and myself, Makaza. We out here through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to do edification. And I mean, we still debating the title, but you know, for now, you know, it'll be sometimes Israelites versus an all-time Israelite. Because coming in this truth, being an Israelite is not something that we do based off of, you know, what we see others do. Or we just do it just because, hey, this is what people require. We do it as in John chapter 15, verse 14, it says, "What if you love me, keep my commandments." We are Israelites because of the love of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and also because it is our nationality. Alright? So you can't stop being an Israelite. We are Israelites. Alright? And there are men that will come in the truth and they will only act as an Israelite face value in front of other brothers when they have supervision, when somebody are around. Then they do all the righteousness as they can, but then by themselves they be wicked as hell. And guess what? The Most High will destroy you. Alright? It says Romans chapter 9 verse 31. But Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, had not attained to the law of righteousness. Wherefore, because they sought it not by faith, but as it were the works of the law. Alright? So you have to seek this thing of faith and do this work faithfully. Do your videos, do the street teachings, you know, not eat pork, you know, do the Sabbath, you know, do the relationship periods, you know, stuff like that. Don't commit adultery. That is something that you do for faith.
So like, yeah, if I may say something about Bashar, you know, I think you should be first taught. You should be first taught, because when you're studying, you should teach yourself first before you can come out and teach. You know, you're supposed to be the first person taught by what you study before you come out here and rehearse it. This is Proverbs chapter 5 verse 21. That's the flow from what they were saying now. It says, "For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings." You know, so even if you try to deceive men, you can't deceive the Most High. The scripture says, "Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, so shall he reap." Right? So the eyes of the Lord are upon men. Right? So before you can come out here and teach a man, you yourself have to be doing the things that you're trying to teach. Because the scripture says, when he had converted, then teach. Right? So when you're studying, you know, you're studying to learn. You're not studying just to pass an exam, because the scripture talk about men pleasing, men who doing this work for what? Eye service. We're not doing this for eye service. We're doing this thing to what? To come into the understanding of the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says, verse 22, Proverbs 5 and 22. "His own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin," because the Most High shall he not mock. Right? If it's into the flesh, you reap corruption. If it's into the spirit, you reap life everlasting. Right? So the Most High will ultimately have you in a trick bag if you're just trying to please the eyes of men. It says, "He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray." You know? So you're only fooling yourself. So be genuine to yourself, and when you're genuine to yourself, you'll be instructed, and then you can teach other men.
Right? To back up, we were saying that basically saying that, you know, they're doing things just to please men. It's Galatians chapter 1 verse 10. "For do I now persuade men or Yahweh? Or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Mashiach." You understand? So we can't be men pleasers out there. You understand? Give me Philippians 2 and 12. You know, we can't be men pleasers out here. We have to seek to please the Lord Yahweh Shai. And when you're seeking to please the Lord Yahweh Shai, you will actually, even on your own timing, you will do the things that required of the Lord. You understand? You wouldn't be like the hypocrites that go out in the public and pray. You would pray in private. You understand? And you know basically it's between you and the Most High. It is between you and the Most High at the end of the day. So therefore you gotta work out that with you and the Most High. Because whether a man believes that you sincerely serve the Most High or not, that is that man's problem. But it's between you and the Most High. If you serve the Most High sincerely, and that is what counts. Not what the man believes, but what you doing to be accepted of him. Go ahead.
In Philippians chapter 2 and verse 12, it says, wherefore my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Right. We said, not only in my presence, but also in my absence. Means that even when you don't have supervision around apostles, elders, camp leaders, any brother around, you will always do the things that written in the law. The scripture said, I delight to do thy will. You understand? You delight to do the will of the Most High means you can always do what the scripture said. If you love me, keep my commandments.
I got the precept yesterday.
Right?
This is Psalms 119 and 11. It says, Psalms 119 and 11. It says, thy word have I hid in my heart, that I might not sin against thee.
Can you understand? You hid the word of the Lord Yahweh in your heart, that you won't go off. You understand? Because the scripture said the beginning of fear of the Most High is when men depart from iniquity. Right? So when you depart from iniquity, it's because you fear the Lord Yahweh Shai. You fear the Most High, so you're going to try your utmost best to serve Him. You're going to try your best. You understand? But you're not going to just do it just because, you know, if you do this, a brother will talk about it. So, you know, just so that brother don't rebuke you, you don't do it. But when that brother not around, let's say you fight with a demon, like, you know, some brothers, they would have been in the world, and they would have been smokers in the world. Alright? But when brothers are around, they will try to portray this image as though they overcome that demon. But then when the brother not around, then they go and pull a cigarette out. Really and truly being men pleasers. And that is what we mean by being a sometimes Israelite. Hey, if you have a stronghold, talk to brothers about it. Brothers will be able to help you out. That is part of the brotherhood, helping each other with their afflictions, with their downfalls, and with their shortcomings. That is part of being a brother, it's part of the brotherhood. Alright?
Yeah, it says, just to back you up, because, you know, you're basically pleasing men by hiding the scripture, say confess thy faults to one another. You understand? Because that's part of the way to overcome. Confession. Confession leads to what? Acknowledgement that you're transgressing. Right? This is Psalms chapter 51 verse 3. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight. Because, you know, the Lord said when you do these things, you do it unto Him. Honor the Most High in your body. You understand? This body is the temple of the Most High. If you destroy this temple, the Most High will destroy you. Right? Just for the example of the cigarette, you know. But so be it with any other circumstance that we're going to face in this truth. To have a brotherhood. The moment is the birth of our nation. This is the whole natural story. We're being reborn. We're coming back to the acknowledgement of who we are, and we are our brother's keepers. So guess what? Some brothers have problems trusting in our brother, you know. But you need to trust in your brother sometimes.
Come.
You know, because the Spirit might work through that brother. The Spirit does lead you to who to talk to, who not to talk to, you does know. You understand? Verse 4, against thee only have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Right? So the transgression or the offense is against Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, not men. Right? So cast off that pride. You know, we're not doing this thing to please men, not to please the apostles, not to please one another, not to please your camp leader, as Maccabees was saying. This is Surah 23 and verse 19. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not the eyes of the Lord, that are 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. The Most High searcheth the reins of men, he searcheth the heart. David said, search my heart, O Lord. Because your heart, which is your mind, really, and truly your lap, the Lord knows your intention. Remember, David said, "Oh, wretched man that I am, I didn't think that I ought not." Right? Sometimes you have good intentions, but guess what? You go the wrong way, and you have a lesson to learn. But you need to be able to acknowledge, confess, humble yourself. You understand? This is Proverbs chapter 15, verse 3. The eyes of Yahweh are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So you're not deceiving nobody but your damn self.
Come.
Understand?
Right. Yeah.
After you.
These are Romans chapter 2 and verse 28. It says, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh, but he is a Jew which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart in the spirit and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of the Most High.
Yeah. Understand? So his praises of the Most High means that he did things to please the Most High. Understand? He worrying about what men might say about him, whether positive or negative. His praise is that he would be able to be accepted of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and be delivered. And that is our main goal in this truth, to be accepted of the Lord, not to make a name here for ourselves. Alright? Hey, talking about you brothers that believe in the truth. Alright? You brothers that believe in the truth. You are sometimes Israelite. You can't be a sometimes Israelite, because guess what? That is our nationality. Being an Israelite is not about doctrine. It's not about religion. It's nationality. It goes back to the doctrine. You understand? It goes back to the doctrine. But guess what? But it's our nationality.
That's something